I feel like this is one of those instances where, like, I've had a growth part of the video, and then this is the fuck around and find out part of the video. Hello, everyone. I feel a bit like Grover. Hello, everybody. So there may be a pause in our regular kind of make programming for a bit because we have discovered that there's potentially groundwater getting into the workshop and creating mold situations. So if you do not want to see gross mold situations and me pull out the walls of the garage and things like that, totally fine. You are welcome to skip this video. But for all those interested, tally ho. So this hole has been here for a while. However, recently I noticed that it started to get wet down there. That's what she said, only not in a fun way. And there's this black stuff coming out, and I'm not sure if it's wood rot or dirt or mold. And as you can see, these walls are starting to get a little moldy and bowy. This is just particle board tacked up here. They checked that area and said, oh, there used to be moisture here, but it's not moist now, so you're probably fine. And I'm wondering if it was just because it hadn't rained in a bit or something, because our house is just at the bottom of a giant hill. So what I'm going to do is spray it down with bleach solution twice. This is what our contractor said. And then I am going to remove this wall, which will be exciting because there's all sorts of electrical things plugged into it, and we will see what is behind it. It has been a dream of mine to do this because I have not been a fan of the wall, and it, you know, as you can see, it kind of continues back here. I want to be able to actually like have insulation, actual good walls. Yeah, so we will see if this project leads to like a dream space, not a dream space, but like a functional space, a more functional space, or if it incapacitates the workshop for several months, in which I will do lots of tiny things upstairs or like take you thrifting with me or something. We'll see. All right, to the bleach. Oh, also because Matthias couldn't be down here with me, he really wanted to help. He asked that I bring Sky to help me. So Sky is going to help me with the mold. One last glimpse before we take it all down. It's demo day, baby! It's my glove. Almost. So this is what was behind the walls. Pretty gross. Lots of falling down, very old and moldy insulation, and a lot of wood rot, as you can see. One rotted stud, one not rotted stud. I didn't have a bag in the shop vac, so it just sprayed everything back out again. Not everything, but gross amounts. Our contractors were amazing. They fixed the groundwater situation on the outside, and then they rebuilt the framing for the inside, painted, insulated, and then here is their finished work that I am going to get to play on. Notice the beautiful B-board instead of particle board. I'm so excited! Okay, everybody. I am feeling depressed and anxious, and I have so many projects that are like half done, but they're not in places where like I have the energy to re-engage with them. So I'm going to start a new project, and I am going to paint this wall. Yeah. Painting always makes me feel accomplished because like it was one color and now it's another color. So that hopefully will be nice. The plan is to paint this wall blue and then put a new pegboard on it so that I can organize my tools and they're not like this all over the place. So hopefully that will help me get my brain in some sort of order and get blood flowing in my body. Let's get started. Okay. I don't think I'm going to paint this one because it continues behind the bookcase. I don't have the spoons for that. So I think just accent wall blue. Yeah. I don't really know what to do about the wire that's going in and out. Like I kind of want to leave it white and not have it be bloopity 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 blue everywhere, but that means I'll have to tape it, and that's gonna be a thing. I forgot to tape the sidewall. Look at how responsible I'm being. That even in my state of rage, I can still tape and put a border on it. I feel like that's growth. Yeah? Yeah. I realized I didn't clean this out before putting the paint in. The blob is coming! Well, we'll just call it texture. As my dear brother says, warm today. Now, for the extremely noisy elephant in the room. I could do it easy and just kind of paint around it. But if I ever want to get rid of this thing or move it somewhere else and I don't have this exact paint color anymore, that will cause problems for future Megan. And today is all about growth, right? Growth. So we're gonna move the refrigerator. We're gonna paint this sucker behind the thing. Maybe I'll wrap it eventually in something, in some sort of decorative thing, so it's not just like this white screaming cicada thing, but it could be a decorative, pretty screaming cicada thing. But we're gonna do it right today.
Oh. Ah!
Not bad. Now I'm gonna do some small touch-ups so that I can do a second coat in a bit when it dries, but I'm gonna get those little lines in the middle there with a brush. Growth. Okay, I'm feeling much better now. Very sweaty. I'm gonna take a break to let this dry, have a chocolate bar that my husband brought me, and have a therapy session. And then I'll be back for coat number 2. Coat number 2. Yeah, I think it's pretty freaking cute. Yeah, I think that'll be a nice backdrop. I am tempted to do some like crown molding on the top to kind of hide that little wire and wibbly bit, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I don't know if it's because of the sweat or the accomplishment or the paint fumes, but feeling dandy. I'm gonna let this dry for a few hours, and then here's my thoughts for next steps. So obviously this thing needs to be pushed back against the wall, so does the fridge. I'm thinking of sanding and painting this, just because it's kind of falling aparty. I feel like a nice like dark green would be really pretty. Maybe putting molding there, putting some posters on those walls. This thing used to sit on the workbench, but I don't like that, and I might build a shelf for it over here up above a sump pump. And maybe I can wrap that refrigerator in contact paper or a magnet, or at least wipe it down. And then of course we've got ye olde pegboards, which I'm gonna paint more white than they are right now, and then attach them here and put up my tools, which I think will be the next step after cleaning up all this paint stuff. This was a real nice day after the implosion of my other project that I'm working on. I have no idea what order these are coming out in, depending on when I get certain things finished. But one of my recent projects imploded. But yeah, I was sad about that. So I painted a wall. Yeah. Hello. So the beautiful blue wall is dry, and I'm so glad that it dried more my favorite color than it looked like initially. Like it was a bit brighter. Now it's kind of sunk into a nice deep cobalt-esque blue. So I had a bit of a shopping spree at Lowe's and I bought a bunch of things. But one of the things I got was some trim, like a little gully in it, and some liquid nails. Because I'm thinking, because we have this situation with the wire up top, that if I do a bit of trim across there, then maybe it won't be noticeable. And now I am very worried because like liquid nails is real hardcore, but I also don't want to go at it with a brad gun because I'll probably pop through some of the wiring and that would be bad. So I'm gonna go with liquid nails for now and we'll see if I've made a terrible mistake. So first let's take down the tape that's up there and see what we're working with. How is this taking off the paint of the ceiling? Well, so I feel like in most cases it'll work. There's one or two spots that I'm like, how good is liquid nails? Okay. I got heavy duty liquid nails, which is probably not right for this project, but all right, I gotta find a stabby thing. Yeah, I feel like this is one of those instances where like I have had growth on. I'm freaking brought down a scissors, where are you? I feel like this is one of those instances where like I've had a growth part of the video and then this is the fuck around and find out part of the video. I'm just banking on the fact that future Megan will not have to remove this for any reason. I love how I didn't film any of that installation. I don't know, guys. Unfortunately, I'm going to need those next, I think. I used up all my responsibility yesterday. Upside down. There is a fine line between tenacity and foolhardiness, and I tend to walk that tightrope a lot. So it will be interesting to see which side I fall on in 24 hours. Frick. I feel a bit like a nature documentary person or someone on What We Do in the Shadows, but it's been about 24 hours, so we're gonna check and see how the trim has held up. Fingers crossed. Tenacious wins! So, the foolhardy side of things will probably come when I need to access that wire somehow for some reason. But I don't even know what that wire does, so that's a problem for future Megan. Whew! Okay, so next up are the furrers, something. These things, which I'm gonna drill into each of the studs, and that will give the pegboard a little bit of space away from the wall, so that I can put in my pegs. Mm-hmm. The smell of pine. Okay, let's go find those studs. I have a pretty good guess since there's these here, but yeah. Little wins, baby. Little wins. I hope these aren't too big. Woo! You gotta love a little pelvis pressure. Oh, that one also split, but it's on. It's gonna be really interesting to attach the panels because they are not this width. This is the width of the studs. I don't want to math. I don't. But I may have to math. Yeah. Can I add a third panel without it being weird? I do cross beams, but those won't be in the studs. Family zone. Okay, so solution potentially. So I did some more research into the furring strips, is what they're called. Don't know why. Furring. And sometimes they put them across horizontally. And if I put them across horizontally, yes, it'll be a little higher than I wanted it to be. But then I can drill in supports all the way through, and then same thing with the bottom. And that should solve my problem, I think. We'll see. And hopefully I still have enough screws. 1. Up, up, up. 2. Up, up, up. 3. Right. We're doing the bottom now. I'm just gonna try a different one. Let's try this one again. I am very worried that I've woken up my son, but I think it might be a pretty solid frame. Safe for now. Okay, I'm gonna try and hang 2 of the pegboards and see what happens. I may run out of appropriate screws. Of course. The bottom one is too far down for this configuration. That doesn't work for the other configuration. So, it's just gonna kind of be hanging here from the top like a duck. It was too good to be true. Okay, thinking time. Okay, well this will at least be supported on the top and on that middle kind of peg. So hopefully I can secure it enough that it won't be too crazy. Ah! All I have left in here are gigantic screws. I don't know if I trust these. They're like thick. A lot of them are red. I shouldn't use those. Okay, we got some more thick boys. Right size. They look like they're supposed to be used for like furnishings, but that's what I got. Oh, and I'm putting a little washer around them so they won't go through the peg part. I'm like secret board of shadowy figures here. I'll just do a very dramatic. Maybe that will be the thumbnail. Pegboards. Here, I'll show you a different angle now. See? Letting you in on my secrets. I mean, that's the whole point of the channel. But this is how I was holding it up, so I don't need somebody else. Come with me. Yeah, that's a thing. I bet there's some sort of like bracket thing that I can put in here. Oh. Nope. Should have looked in my big section. Of course, I have no little tiny things that are made of metal that have little holes in either side, but I am tempted to make one out of wood. Like, if I just get a strip of wood and then screw into either side to kind of keep this together. Yeah. Let's experiment, shall we? This isn't going into anything necessarily. I feel like I need a nut. And I cracked that piece of wood. But seems to be holding the bottom together at least. So I may have solved it a little bit. Like this one goes in here and this one goes in here, so it's not quite
exact, but could work. I do feel a bit like Frankenstein. Oh, one thing I didn't think about. So this isn't going into. Yeah. Okay, so I was able to get it with some more different screws. Again, the kinds that are meant for like appliances and hardware. But, you know, it works. It's holding it in, which is nice. Now, you may be wondering why I am not going to do this panel tonight, and it is because I only had room to paint 2 panels. So I'm going to paint the last panel tonight and hopefully install it sometime Tuesday. Good night. Wish me luck. I'll see you later. Last one. Friggity frack. Nothing's ever, oh, I'm just gonna do this thing. No, it's 12 steps to do whatever I want to do. I did it! There she is. We kind of have that vestigial board at the bottom, but I'm inclined to leave it for now. Next step, take off all the hardware for this, sand it, and paint it green.
Next time on the Workshop Between Worlds.
You're gonna sound.
Oh no, oh no, no.
Let's see what madness we have wrought.
Perfect. No notes.